Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Thursday, September the 19th, race number 7 at Belmont Park. We're going 1.25 miles on the inner turf. Optional claiming race, $30,000 the optional claiming price. Non-winners of one other than the condition. Before we meet the field, want to remind everybody, perfect complement for your handicapping at Belmont. This fall championship meeting is with your Belmont Fall Clocker reports. Mike Welsh and his team of ace clockers covering all of the morning workouts. $12.95 for a single card, of course, deals with weekly subscriptions. DRF.com/clocker is where you go for all of the information. Here's the field for race number 7. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Tis Morning, who was thrown to the wolves, to say the least. Last time out on the Sword Dancer, it didn't help that he was chasing a very fast pace, and he kind of sucked along to a career best 87 Beyer speed figure. He's down in class, and as the Timeform U.S. pace projector believes, he can be on the lead in here. I just wonder if he's good enough to handle these.
Yeah, I didn't think that he was. If you go 2 back in that 2-life claimer at 1 mile and 16th, when he was finally back on turf, I mean, he didn't run that well against sort of a suspect field. Listen, maybe he'll like the distance, but I thought he was tough to take in this race.
Crew Chief, the number 2, might be one of those rare Michael Maker misses. He claimed the source for $40,000. We've seen Maker over the years just claim horses and tournament to stakes runners. And he tried with Crew Chief, ran him in a few stakes races to no avail. Last time out, he was in for 45. The third finisher of that race did come back to win with an 87 Beyer speed figure. I kind of like him stretching out a little bit here in distance, and I think he can work out a tracking trip under Luis Saez.
I do too. It's sort of interesting that since Maker claimed him, he spent more time running him on dirt than anything else, it seems like. He's pretty good on turf. I think the distance is okay for him. The race last time, I mean, I would just give him a huge excuse for that race. He had post 11 of 12. He was caught, 4 or 5 wide all the way around the track, could never get over to save any ground. He actually ran deceptively well last time.
Bluegrass Parkway, lightly raced 3-year-old, taking on older horses, returning off a little bit of a layoff for Rudy Brisset, but this horse has taken on strong competition throughout his career. Earlier this year and into his last year or two against A Thread of Blue and Digital Age and Global Access. These are legitimate graded stakes horses. And in his most recent race, his first race against older horses, he was in against Botswana, a next out 92 Beyer earner, and he's No Lemon, a horse that came back to run second with a 92 and then won with a 91. This colt has a lot of upside. What do you make of the layoff?
Yeah, the layup doesn't thrill me. I wonder why he missed time. I do like his form overall, though, and I wonder if he can't take a step forward in this race. I thought he actually ran really well last time, Dan. That was a good field he was facing. After they took him back early, he made a very early move into that race, and they were not going slow on the pace. And he got tired at the end, but I thought he had a right to. I thought this horse ran a nice race last time.
10th time was the charm for Curlin's Legacy last time out for trainer Pat Kelly. We'll watch that maiden claiming win against New York Breds at Saratoga. This is the 11 in the race. He's trying to get straightened out and get to the outside. Now there he is. And now he is in the clear, and he is eventually going to wear these horses down. It was not a strong field. The 7th place finisher did come back to win at this level with a 71 Beyer speed figure. This horse needs to really step it up. This is a real tough sort of triple jump in class.
Yeah, he just, I'll give him credit for winning that race, even though it was a weak field. He is in probably way over his head here.
Hobo's rock solid. He runs Beyer speed figures in the low to mid 80s, sometimes cracking the high 80s. Last time out on the West Point, fast pace, should have worked to his advantage. He was just probably in too tough against a better closer and offering plan. His prior races are okay. Really the question for this race is, how do you feel about him at this elongated distance?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I really wanted him stretching out. The more I look at him and the more I think about it, maybe it just won't matter, Dan. It just seems like he runs the same race every time. He's actually pretty good. I think he's competitive if he can get the right trip in this race. We'll see what kind of price he's at. A big price, I'm not going to argue with this horse.
Karam and Tale of the Sea come out of a common race. It was at Saratoga on August the 25th. Now, it was only a 4-horse field, but I thought they went pretty fast early in this race. And as they swing into the stretch, we see Karam making the lead after pressing the pace. Tale of the Sea at odds on. He looks like he's in trouble, and he is in trouble. Karam's still going to fight down to the wire. Tale of the Sea kind of a little bit disappointing in this effort, Mike, but these horses, especially Tail of the Sea, very lightly raced, might be able to step it up, and maybe Tail of the Sea just needs a little bit more hitting up front in a bigger field.
Yeah, maybe he does. I don't know that I necessarily want either of these two horses back, Dan. Karam, I thought two back when they went long with him. He had a tough trip in that race where he was wide. I couldn't find the excuse for him last time. And yeah, maybe the pace was a little faster than you wanted to be in a 4-horse field. And he did take over early in there. But I thought all in all, just a race he probably should have won. The horse that ran him down, he's okay. He's no star, no man's land. He's okay. I don't know. I thought that was a race Karam probably should have won.
Belgrano's been a nice claim for Jorge Abreu. Took this horse for 35s, gotten a win, a second, a third out of him. Last race was his first start off a little bit of a layoff. We'll take a look at that race right now. And I thought he ran okay, Mike. He's the 5-horse now in the Blue Silks. He's trying to ease out into the 3-path in between horses all the way down to the wire here. And he finishes an okay third. His buyer moved forward a little bit. And for his first race off the layoff, I thought it was a fine enough effort.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too. I thought it was fine. I do think he's improved since Abreu claimed him. I don't know that I think he's improved enough to beat this field.
We talked about Tide of the Sea, that it was a little bit of a disappointing performance last time out in his first race against winners. It is noteworthy that his race 2 starts back was won in gate-to-wire fashion. Do you think they will try to get aggressive with him here? Joel Rosario perhaps trying to take the race to a horse like Tis Morning, who's going to be a big price.
I guess they'll try and get forward. I just suspect they'll ride him the way they've ridden him in each of his last 3 races since they stretched him out, where they just go forward with him if there's nobody else going. When he wired that field, they went 51-3 to the half. So he had all the best of it that day. If they go faster, he'll sit. The trip should be a good one for him. I just wonder if he's good enough.
I think one of the keys to this race is Jay Beresford-Tipton, the number 9, newly blinkered son of Kentucky Derby winner Animal Kingdom, rallied from out of it to win his debut at Delaware, made his first start against winners at Colonial, and while he only received an 81 buyer, he received a 116 raw Timeform US rating. They really liked that race. He kind of got bumped from both sides at the start. He was inside. He then came with a wide bid, and he ended up being second best that day. I think this horse is continuing to improve, and I think this distance is going to be just fine for him.
I do too. I appreciate that he's lightly raced as well. I'm struggling with that last race at Colonial. I know it got good figures all around. County Court, the horse that won it, is a horse that we're familiar with. He was in New York for Shug. He was basically a claiming type of horse. His start before that came in a 40 claimer, and he didn't win that day. The horse that was 4th in that race was entered to run at Belmont last weekend. He didn't look like very much horse to me either. I don't know. I just wonder if that race is actually that good.
And on the outside is Value Engineering. You're a likely favorite for trainer Chad Brown. This horse graduated last time out at Saratoga in a race going 1 mile and 3/16. He was down towards the inside early. Tries to alter course here. You see him tried to get to the 4-path. That didn't work out. Now he's in behind horses just waiting for a seam. The seam arrives right about here in the 3-path. He splits. He settles it very quickly. This was a nice turn of foot late for a horse that just acts like he'll stay all day long.
Yeah, it really was. I liked this performance from him. I liked his debut a lot. He felt like a horse who needed that race. I was a little disappointed in his second start when he didn't win. And I think Chad might have been too. I believe after that race, he had him entered for $75,000 at Saratoga before he scratched him. I liked that win last time, Dan. There was a good pace in front of him, though. I thought he got overall a really good trip before he finished it off. I like him. I don't think I'd take too short a price on him.
Here's a Chad formulator fact. Gotta be good if it's Chad. Past 5 years, horses aged 3 and up. Last out maiden winners returning in optional claiming turf routes at Belmont. That's specific. 10 for 21, 48% winners, 16 of 21 on the board, and a $2.40 return on investment. Pick time for our Thursday race of the day. I like the kick Value Engineering produced in the last 3/16 of a mile last time out. I think this is a field he can handle. The price is not going to be there. I'm going to try a 10-9 cold punch.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not way against Value Engineering. I want him to do it one more time, especially if he's going to be a short price. I took a shot with Bluegrass Parkway just because I liked his last race. I don't know about the layoff. We'll see what we get. I went 4-2 and 10.
Now, Bluegrass Parkway, already stakes place. Looks like he's got a lot of upside potential. Really interesting runner in our DRFBets race of the day. It is race number 7 at Belmont on Thursday with an approximate post of 6:08 Eastern. Good luck.